So I have here with us tonight JGiddins. Welcome, welcome, welcome. He is going to tell you a story to tell. He is a father. He is a music artist. He is also an advocate for paternal rights. We also have here with him Rel.
Hello.
Yes, yes, of Mode Breaker. Yes. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm not going to be long here. We're going to go ahead and let them get into the conversation. So, Jay, why don't you go ahead and give us a little bit of your story?
Well, first off, thank you very much for having me. I'm JGiddins. My name is Gerald Giddins, but I go by JGiddins. That's my stage name. I actually am also an artist. First off, I just want to, let me first off mention why I brought Rebel Rel. Rebel Rel is a father as well, and he has daughters, and me and him kind of bonded on another level when it comes to just kind of parenting and the responsibility of a father. You can follow me at JGiddins the Father. That's JGiddins THE Father, FATHER. Also JGiddins the Artist, ARTIST, THE as well. So on my JGiddins the Father page, I pretty much just promote fatherhood and parenting in general. That came into play from my situation right now that I have with my two daughters, Journey Giddins and Justice Giddins. We are JGiddins is what I like to say when I reference us. But right now the situation that's going on is my daughters kind of were taken from me, unfortunately. This happened as of April 15th. The reason this is important is because there was a custody order in place at the time that it happened, and the decision was made to just take them away from me. I haven't seen my babies in about 10 months, pursuant to the court order. And the reason I say that is, and I'm not sure if I've been getting my voice here, I'm trying to focus, but the reason I say that is because I haven't exchanged the girls with their mom in about 10 months now. I've been seeing my daughters regularly at school. So until this school year, I was just seeing my oldest daughter at school. She was attending Deep Creek Elementary, and I would go and see her daily, maybe 3-4 days out of the week. And we kind of talked, and I shared with her what's going on, because this is very damaging to the children. I'm gonna go into detail about why this is happening, but that's what I've been faced with. As of this school year, both of my youngest and my oldest are both in school now. So I've been seeing both of them up until they were recently withdrawn from school.
So you actually had a custody order or was in the process. So it wasn't just like, oh, you know how people try to say, oh, deadbeat dads, and you know, you know, you always hear the story, you know, the lady takes, you know, him down to the court. I'm gonna take him down to the court. He ain't doing nothing. He deadbeat dad, but you actually were involved.
And deadbeat dads, let me first off say deadbeat dads are not the Loch Ness Monster. They are real. And they exist, and that's the reason why fathers like myself and you know, and just other men who really want to be more have to step up. It's a lot deeper than we really understand and know, because fathers don't know what their value is and what their importance is, so they don't feel obligated to take the steps necessary to be better fathers. You know, and me myself, I didn't have my father growing up, which is bringing a lot to my attention in terms of our society and struggles that we have, because it's just a chain. You know, like my daughter's mother, you know, who is currently trying to, you know, keep my daughters from me. My daughters are currently not in school because of this. They got put out of school. Wow. You know, it's a lot behind it in terms of, you know. Anyway, I didn't have my dad.
Not to cut you, but we have one person that's asking, did they give you visitation?
Yeah. So, and I think we were talking about that. So, the initial custody order was established May 7th of 2017. So I went to court on May 7th, and I established custody. We had split custody. What the custody order indicates is that I would get the children throughout the full summer, and then every weekend throughout the school year. The primary reason I wanted to do that was because the school that they were in and my daughter was comfortable with was closer to where she lived. And then also they need them, you know, they need their mother. Obviously, they need both of us, regardless of what my.
That's so true.
You know, and I would never ever suggest that they should not have their mother. You know what I mean? But unfortunately, the mother of my children, to a certain degree, I don't want people to take things the wrong way, but she kind of puts to shame what women really are and what they stand for. You know what I mean? And I think that the acceptance of that is what bothers a lot of people.
So would you say the system, you feel like the laws are more geared towards women, or do you feel like it's kind of fair in favor of both?
Well, here's the thing. After the custody order was established, first off, what happened initially was either she found my daughter's diary or something like that, and she got upset about the love that was expressed because of myself as well as my girlfriend, who played a vital role when my daughters lived with me. So she cut us off as of April 15th. When that happened, I didn't really know how to deal with it. Like, these are children that I cut the umbilical cord of, brought home, changed their diaper, took to school, doctor visits. Like, I'm not some side dad, so I didn't know how to take somebody telling me you can't see your children and just try. And in the way, there was never a direct you can't see your children. What it was is a not answering when I call, not responding to text messages, taking the children to other people, spreading lies to other people about the reasons that I'm not having the children, so that then they think that something different is going on. So I got people approaching me about things that are completely not true. Like, I don't even know where people get these ideas, you know what I mean, that they have about why my children shouldn't be in my life, or that I'm abusive to them, or that I would do something negative. You know what I mean? Everybody this situation is so weird and strange, because everybody who knows me knows the gravity of, what my daughters mean to me. You know what I mean? Like, anybody that knows me would look at this and say, what? You know what I mean? But they are members of my own family who are fighting to make sure that I cannot see my daughters.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Your own blood, really.
And this, and I'm not saying that to play the victim or be victimized. I don't want any victimization. This is more so to bring a realization, you know what I mean, to what this is real. Like, my own mother, you know what I mean, who raised me, was in court shouting that I should not see my daughters, and currently has my daughters living with her, and make sure that I don't see them.
So who's the custodial parent? Was there an award? Someone was awarded the custodial parent?
We have 50% legal and physical custody. Everything is completely split legal. Okay. So I filed, I'm sorry, and I keep losing track. So also, because I'm partly a paralegal or a lawyer because of everything I've been through in the last year. So I filed
Seems like we all have to get a law degree.
Right, to do this.
If you get a traffic ticket, you get a law degree. Come on.
Unless you got a lot of money and you want to just, shove off some money. But so the first thing that I did after I went through a month of her not communicating with me, not letting me talk to the girls and stuff like that, I filed a motion for contempt. Which is what you do when somebody violates a judge's order. That's how they get guys arrested when they don't pay their child support, a motion for contempt. So I filed a motion for contempt. We had a date of July 27th that we were supposed to go, July 27, 2018, this previous summer. She did not show up. And yes, she knew, because she was hurt. So, and they really didn't do anything about that. They told me, well, why don't you go file a modification? File a modification for the custody order. And I was like, okay, fine. So I filed a modification. Then we got a date of October 16th. At which point that was a scheduling conference where we kind of went and talked. She had a lawyer. That's when I realized she had a lawyer, which she's going to need one, by the way. If she didn't have a lawyer, this would be open, shut case. But she has a lawyer, and they will manipulate anything they can to get their client to win. So that's my struggle right now, finding an attorney. But that's another story. Anyway, when we got there on October 16th, they tried to negotiate with me my privileges to see my daughters. Like, they were like, well, we're going to talk to her, and we'll see, if she wants to start letting you see them again, because, and I'm like, well, why is there a let? Like, are you guys crazy? Like, I was like, there's no let, those are my children. Like, so I said, like, there is no
let you.
I said, not only is there no negotiation going to take place, I want full custody, because there's no way for me to protect my children from her. She will hurt them. People don't want to believe this, but I don't care what people think. These are my daughters. Like, she will hurt them. There's only a couple people who really know the degree that, she would take things if she can't get what she wants. And everybody else, is kind of looking. Listen, I don't want to make this about her. I'm sorry. This is more so about just the culture in general, because this is all being supported by people who aren't asking or wanting to find out anything beyond what the mother said. Like,
so again, do you feel that the system, you know, is more weighed one way than the other, and that there may be many other fathers out there, such as yourself, that want to be with their children, are trying to do the right thing. You know, sometimes you even hear stories of fathers who they take their own self and pay child support. And still, and it's funny because I was just reading, you know, a fact about that and some statistics I found that by law you have to pay the child support, but it has nothing to do with custody. So therefore, you could be paying child support and doing everything that you're supposed to be doing, and whoever is considered the physical parent, the custodial parent, can still withhold visitation if they want.
You know, well, look,
you have some comments, Rel.
No.
I don't know what everybody is
talking to the mic for me.
Oh, sorry. No, I just their outburst. I didn't want y'all to hear it.
Oh, no, it's okay. We want you.
And me and Pinpoint was tripping about it, so I tried to stop. I'm gonna let y'all get back to them.
Okay.
I mean, look, this whole thing. Look, I want to say to fathers, man, fathers need to realize. Look, I think that child support. I think it's a gift and a curse. It's a good and a bad thing, you know.
So you do think it's needed?
Yeah, child support is definitely needed, but I think that you know, fathers need to understand that it is my opinion that when you make the decision to pay child support, you are making the decision to not support your child. I can't consciously make that decision. You know, I had my children; they had rooms in my house. I supported them. So the idea of me paying another to do that was, I don't understand that concept. The only reason that I think a man would have that concept is for it to be put in or instilled in him at some point. And me growing up, raised by all women, I have the ability to understand it. I understand the root of it. I understand where it comes from. This is a generational epidemic. There were, you know, and it is systematic because it is remnants of oppression and slavery that took place when they killed the father in front of the mother and the kids to kind of symbolize a lack of strength. The way that they modernize that is programs like Section 8, you know, child support.
Absolutely.
These things, they offer the women these things, but they say you need to chop this man down during the process. If you get Section 8, you can't have a man in there. We're not trying to have y'all, you know, get strong. You know, I just want to feed you a little bit while you chop them down with me.
We have a question here. Someone wanted to know more. Why is your mother helping? Why is she against you? Why is she helping?
Yeah. So, oh man, and that takes it even deeper. So, and I'm an open book. So, anybody that has a problem with me disclosing things, so what?
No, they want to know. Listen, everyone wants to know. This is the people who you know. So listen. This is what happened. Unfortunately, my mother is involved with someone who abused my little sister. Now, I'm not going to say because people automatically will jump to sexual, and there's not anything involving that I know of. However, when it comes to me seeing my little sister balled up in the corner crying in tears, hurt traumatically because of something that this man did, and it being disclosed to me that was told to be hidden and pretend that never happened and excused. That happened, and me and my mom had kind of a thing about it because I said my daughters are not allowed around that man by themselves. I don't want it. I'm not comfortable with it, and it's not gonna happen. And she was upset because she felt like, you know, whatever, and that just happened. So of course my daughters didn't go to her house as often, you know what I mean, because she wasn't willing to accept the fact that I wanted to protect my daughters around this man who I seen hurt my little sister. It just was not acceptable to her. So we had to kind of out. So what happened with my mom and my baby mom, who by the way were not even cool. My mom was with me in court on May 4th, 2017. My mom was on my side in court. And my baby mom lied and said that my mom never helped her, never did nothing for her in court. So she watched her lie about her. But they joined forces. The enemy of my enemy is my friend type of deal is what's going on. And they kind of joined forces, and at this point are kind of working together to ensure that whatever she wants happens, which at this point would I don't want to go off topic. What would we?
because I'm good.
Right, understandable. So,
You know,
would
it's very deep.
if you're awarded custody,
hmm
and it is a battle, it takes a while to go through this whole process, will you allow visitation?
Well, first off, I won't allow anything that is not for what's best for my daughters.
Exactly.
You know, period. So if it was not best for them, no. However, Journey has made it very clear to me that she wants to, she wants to have her mother in her life. You know, that's very aware to me. And I want her mother in her life. You know what I mean? This was what it was supposed to be from the start. You know what I mean?
Right.
This is not my decision. But anyway, that's another story. But I would definitely permit visitation, but it has to be supervised, at least for the purpose of the full custody is to protect them. There's been threats made to my daughter. There's been time my daughter was in the house by herself. She called me because she was scared, and her mother came in as she was talking to me, and she started yelling at her and, cussed her out about her being on the phone with me. This is stuff that I can't even say too much because I'm jeopardizing my daughter, you understand, by telling you this.
Absolutely,
so
absolutely.
I'm not really going to go into detail, but people don't understand that there's a real threat, you know what I mean? And I have to hold my composure because the reason people don't believe me is because they automatically jump to the conclusion of, well, he's lying because if they was his kids, he should just go take them.
Right.
Yeah, but then what happens when she goes to school and then she just comes and takes them from school?
So do you feel there's an automatic bias often just because you're the man
system?
from
yeah,
the
it's
not even from the system, but just people, as you said, when you tell
people
your
in general.
story or say I'm not seeing my kids, or you think it's automatic bias?
There's definitely a bias, but I don't think it's an invalid bias.
Okay.
The thing is, this scenario is an anomaly. We're dealing with a woman who does not follow the laws of your typical woman. You know what I mean? The things that she does are so inconceivable that people don't want to believe me when I tell them. When I tell them the truth about what's going on, people want to find something wrong. They're like, that's not true. That can't be. They just fight to want something to be wrong, but I swear on my life, it's not. You know what I mean? Like, I can show you videos of me and my daughter and show you our conversations. My daughter fully understands this. So the thing about this is I'm at this point, this is more of a fight to keep things, to keep my sanity and to keep things, civil. You know what I mean? Because it's going to be idiotic to go the route of me just taking my girls and then them being threatened when they go back with her to not ever come back to me, and my daughter, end up running away. And it could go this stuff happens on a regular basis with families, people. So
is the person with your mother, the guy, is he in the house? Is he living in the same home with your daughter?
They are currently living in the home with the person that I specifically said I do not want them. This is what I'm dealing with. I try my best to not think about this because I it's hard, man. You have no idea. But the thing is, like, I got to think about the long run. If I do, if I was to do anything to make it, especially with her having an attorney, you know what I mean, to make it believable that I'm this aggressive, crazy guy that, your typical black man that just don't know how to be a father.
Yeah, he ain't crack, he ain't doing nothing. He must have did something. He must, something for her to do that. It had to be some reason.
Look, check this out. My daughters right now are not in school. My daughters have been out of school for about a month and a half. They've been out of school since, when was it? Not a month and a half. I'm sorry, I stretched those numbers. I think it was like October 24th. I'm sorry. Right, but around like October 24th, I think it was, when I went to the school, the principal told me, Mr. Giddins, I'm sorry, we had to release your daughters. And I'm like, what are you talking about? They was like, well, we couldn't get communication from the mom on what the address was. We don't know. She doesn't communicate with us. We had to release them as whereabouts unknown because we don't know where the kids are and we haven't gotten any communication. And they said they haven't gotten any communication from any school about them being enrolled. And it's just, the whole situation is just hurting my daughters, man. The whole time they're away from their father, and there's no way I would not have them in school. I was speaking about that point to speak to the bias. Like, if I had my daughters and they were out of school for a month, do you know what people would say?
Exactly.
Like, they would be like, your kids are out of school. They're going to have to repeat. How dare you? You know what I mean? But she's doing this, and they're like, well, stuff hard for her. Like, come on, like you know what I mean? Like, they just give a break. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, there's no way I would allow that to happen to my children. I don't care what. I was homeless with my daughters. I was homeless with my daughters because they were living with me at the time that she put me on child support, and I couldn't afford our rent. So we were homeless. And the same mother that she's living with would not let me come there with my daughters. Because I wouldn't, gravel to her man. You know what I mean? Because I refuse to do that. I don't gravel, and I don't allow, I don't teach people to hurt me. You know what I mean? When you gravel, you teach somebody, this is how you do me. You know what I mean? We all teach people how to treat us. And I'm teaching the system right now, I'm not going to work with you. We're not doing visitation. We're doing me get custody, and I decide what's best for my children. Like, are you crazy? This is ridiculous. You know what I mean? I'm not going to sit there and... There's an existing custody order legally signed by a judge, Catherine Woods. A judge signed an order saying I need to get my daughters, and she withholds them from me herself, and has the support of my family to do it. This is insane. And these people are mad at me. They're literally upset at me because I want to see my daughters, and my daughters want to see me.
As they should.
This is
as
crazy. And the only person that's really kind of helping in this situation is my little sister. And I don't want to say too much because, again, a lot of my family is torn right now, and some people are against each other. But you know what? I like it because it's really showing who people are. It's showing who people are, because if you don't care about these two little girls, if you don't care about these girls seeing a father that they know that raised them, I teach them everything that they know in terms of morality, in terms of appropriateness. If you ask my daughter, because she's not going to hear this, ask my daughter, if you see her, what do you do if you do something wrong? Either one of them, they'll tell you accept responsibility for your actions. That's what she told the CPS rep on November 21st. We recently had to meet with the CPS lady at the court, 401 Bosley, and I asked my daughters that in front of her, and she heard them say that. You know what I mean? And I told her weeks before that my daughters will say that if you ask them. That's symbolic. I'm not saying teach your daughters one thing and now you're a great dad, but that is one of a million things I've taught my children that's instilled in them. So why she's doing this, I have no idea, but it's tearing her relationship with them apart, honestly, because I don't keep any of this a secret from my daughter, especially not my oldest, because it's her job to teach my youngest. They have to do this. You know what I mean? It's not a choice at this point because it's what's best.
So you're going through this situation right now. What advice would you offer to other fathers out there that probably could have very similar stories? They may, some may just give up and just don't try because they don't know how to navigate the system, or they may feel that there's no help, no resources. And wow, like you had to make a decision between a roof over you and your baby's heads and paying child support. Like, that's unbelievable.
Well, look, none of that was too hard for me. I made it. We good, But to fathers, what I would say, and this is a harsh truth, it ain't for everybody. You know what I mean? It's not, and I think fathers really need to sit down and have a heart-to-heart with themselves and figure out if it is, because you can't be the father that you can be and be who you want to be at the same time. I mean, you can't. You know what I mean? You have to sacrifice, and if you're not willing to do that, number one, if you're willing to pay child support, then you already lost, because. And it's not your fault. It's not that they're wrong and they're bad people, but it's you lost because nobody taught you, or you lost because you was brought up lost. But there's no way you should be paying somebody to take care of your children. That makes no sense. It just doesn't make any sense, because unless you're unwilling to do what's necessary to take care of your children.
And that's what I was just about to say. What would you say to those, situations where
they have a 9 to 5 and they can't do it or something like that? Then here's what you have to do. You have to understand that you have to make a decision. I had a 9 to 5. You know what I mean? I lost everything behind what's going on with my daughters. You know what I mean? I lost everything. And I had them. You know what I mean? I had them, regardless of what she's trying to tell people that I didn't have them or I don't see them. They were with me going through all of this. That's why they're both confused. Like, why is she lying about him? But you know what I mean? Like, you have to do what you got to do for them, and you have to understand whether or not you are what's best for them. You know what I mean? I know I'm what's best for my daughters. I know the person that I am, and I know what I can teach them. But if you know that maybe they're probably better off with the mom, you know, you're not as responsible as you should be. You can't guarantee they'll be in school.
You think that can be a cop-out, though? Don't you think fathers are necessary, in the life of their children?
I want to say directly in response to that, I think not accepting that is a cop-out. Because if you have limitations that are beyond what you can achieve, your child is going to suffer by you trying to pretend like that. Some people are too gone. Or too gone to avoid damage to the child while you're trying to repair yourself and be there for them. You know what I mean? You have to understand, especially if they already have a situation where the mother is doing enough. You know, I have a anomaly. This is not something that happens. My specific situation with the mother, you know, she has issues herself that I won't put out there too much, but she has some issues that make her do things that are outside of the norm for your typical mother. You know, so people don't even want to accept and believe it. They're like, no, that's not true. And then, you know, another issue is the whole bias that you said towards women. If you side with me, or, you know, not even side with my daughters. If you side with my daughters or against her, you immediately at that point send a message to everybody who you know, who's your friend or your family, that you don't support that. And now all of a sudden, the lid's blown off, you know what I mean? So that's why I think everybody's scared of my topic. They like, ugh, I got a little cousin that, you know, that do that to her baby father. I ain't trying, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you have to decide. The thing is, I think the difference is what your moral allowance is of stuff and your tolerance. Because when I had my daughters and we became so close, and I became so close to children, like at Deep Creek Elementary School, they know me as Journey's dad. Like I talk to all of the kids there, you know, and a lot of them don't have fathers, I find. But
I just want to say, Rel, you want to jump in here?
I'm just blown by his story. Like I said, I mean, I'm a father as well, but I don't have like I always tell him, our situation, like his with this is a whole. I just support him with doing what he's doing for his children because I'm a father as well. And I thank God I'm not in this type of situation because he helped me as well. Because, like, I don't know how I will react in this type of situation. My children don't live with me, but we do our time and everything. I'm still good with all my children's mothers as well. So I just listen to his story. I shut up about anything. And I don't even complain when I hear his story because it hurts. And I'm like, I really don't know where I would be if I was in his shoes. Like, this is a platform where I can see my people deal with it the right way, because I had no knowledge of this type of stuff. Where I'm from, we were just always violent. So he also was helping me, definitely. Like, because I would, like they say, I would go there, man, we're not going to do that. But I'm just saying, like, my mentality, I would flip out.
Right.
I would flip out.
Right.
I would definitely. So I thank God and my children's mothers that I'm not in that situation.
Right.
So I don't even want to. I'm just behind his movement, 100% as a father.
Yes.
Just showing me he doing whatever, and I mean, I'm with him.
And I didn't quite catch you, brother. Did you want to?
Oh yeah, yeah. Right. It's pinpoint. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't have any kids, so I'll just put that out there now. But I'm so encouraged by Jay's, you know, by the way he's handling the situation. And I fully understand the story. I talk to him a lot. And it just blows my mind. You know, stories like this is one of the reasons why I don't have kids right now. You know, I've always been afraid of exactly what's happening to him. So, well, not exactly, because it's really very specific, very specific. But yeah, it's just, you know, it just sucks because it's like, you know, these aren't just stories. Like, it's real. This stuff's really happening. And I do believe that, you know, fathers are overlooked when it comes to rights in these types of scenarios. So it's just crazy.
Absolutely. What would you say to that, Jay, when you hear someone, you know, kind of hear the story and not understand, you know, to kind of feel nervous or feel afraid, you know, to enter into fatherhood, you know, because of, you know, these type of horror stories, or, you know, to hear things like this? What would you say to that?
my response is going to be kind of biased as it relates to him, because me and this guy kind of close. So I kind of, you know, with him, I would say he should be good. But no, I mean, because the thing is, because it's about who you are. You know what I mean? Like, your children are an amplification of who you are. You know, I saw a video recently where a girl, she had her daughters out, and she made her daughter steal this lady's purse. I don't know if y'all saw that, but you know what I mean? Like,
oh my God.
she was standing there and she saw the lady's purse hanging there. And she told her daughter to go grab it, and and then once her daughter grabbed it, she walked with her off. If anybody would have said something to her or said she was wrong, she would have fought him. She would have been like, "What you mean wrong?" That when I say you make a bad parent, it comes from the type of person you are. If you don't believe in being good, you're not going to teach that and instill it in your children. And that's also why it's so important for me to be there for my daughters and for parents to be there, because your raising of your child is going to determine how they treat theirs. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to put too much person out there, because it's just gonna lead to how they raise their children. You know what I mean? It's gonna affect what they do and all those kind of things. So if you're the kind of parent who was raised by abusive parents, you might be abusive to your kids, or you might never be abusive to them because of going through that. It really just depends on how you dealt with the psychological trauma that you had because of it, the experience. I just lucked up myself, and somewhere this intellect just came out of, I don't know, because a lot of the things that I have insight on and I'm willing to be open about, there's no reason for me to want to expose them based on my growing up. You know what I mean? Like, these are things that I should want to slap somebody for saying, and things that a lot of my peoples are going to want to slap me for saying. And I understand, because that's what you was taught and you don't know no better. You know what I'm saying? I overstand.
You said, what'd you say over there?
A guy on, I think this is actually a lady on Facebook that says something similar to what you said. Did you know the history, like the family history of the mother, and could that possibly play a role in the stuff that's going on? Like, is it something that
of my baby mother,
yeah,
the kid's mother?
The kid's mother.
Yeah, I mean, she that's what I meant when I said I didn't want to get too personal, but her relationship. Listen, as far as I know, she didn't have a relationship with her father, and that was something that was traumatizing. You know what I mean? I'm willing to put this out there. Anybody that's that might feel like, oh, you shouldn't put out there. The reason that I am is because I dedicated a huge portion of my life to restoring a part of her that was lost because of that. You know what I mean? She was traumatized when she was trying to look for her dad and like going to sites to try to find him and stuff like that. And I know the way it impacted her, and that's why it crushes me to see that she's effortlessly taking her daughter's father from them. Like, and she has no. One time we talked on the phone. I haven't talked to her on the phone in months, but when I did talk to her on the phone, one time she answered. And I don't talk to her on the phone like that because she'll always start an argument. That's the way that you get out of logic. Like, if I say, it's hurting our daughters that you won't let them see us, she'll be like, well, you always calling my phone, you get on my nerves, you stupid anyway, and just start an argument. You know what I mean? And there's no way to get to a resolution because she'll start an argument and they just kind of, they want to bring that rage out of you so they can be like, yep, look at him. Exactly. They want you to be what they wish you were. You know what I mean? When I went to court on October 16th, my mother was there. The guy that I, said that I didn't approve of his appropriateness around my daughters was there. My baby mother was there. Her boyfriend was there. And they are yelling and screaming at me like the sheriff had to be called. They yelling at me talking about they don't need you anyway, you ain't no father, blah, blah, blah. These are the people who, one, raised me. You know how much that crushed me? My mother. I was closer to my mother than anybody. Everybody knows this. My mother yelled that I don't need my kids, or at least supported the people who were yelling, they don't need you, you ain't and all of that. And I was just so like taken aback by it. Like, yo, these are people that raised me. Like, this is crazy. And then y'all doing this for a woman who don't even like y'all. Like, a year ago, before any of this happened, she only talked to them because she need a babysitter. You know what I mean?
So one of our viewers asked if you ever looked into maybe working with CPS, calling, that may be
that's
out
already
for you to try. That's already in the works.
Yeah, so there's so much that has not been discussed. I've been through all of that. So as of right now, we have what they call it, a child access evaluation that's taking place. On October 16th, when I refused to negotiate, they started a child access evaluation because I indicated that there was threats and there was abuse taking place.
Understandable.
And They, you know, made us both do a drug test, and that's when they did the whole, you know, the meeting that I spoke on November 21st with us. And they're actually coming out to my house soon to, you know, to do that part of the evaluation. And the person who's doing that is a CPS agent. You know what I mean? And basically, you know, CPS, they have limits on what they can do, though. You know what I mean? Because their job is to make sure that you can put water in the child's throat and they can lay horizontally and close their eyes. Like, you know, they don't care about what's best for the child. And they just flat out will tell you, like, you know, you have to go through the courts to get what's actually best for the child. So really, full custody is the only way I'm gonna, you know, and she's already shown that she doesn't respect the order. Like, you know what I mean? She'll go take them anyway. So my goal is to make sure that I can get us to a point where we can get her to understand that she does not dictate when I get to see our children. You know what I mean? Like, and I would never think that I would have that right. And never has she thought that she had that right until, I guess, I got a girlfriend that might have played a role. I got a girlfriend. My girlfriend's also pregnant, and I have a son on the way. So I think a lot of those things are playing a role in it too. Just maybe some jealousy, maybe some envious. I don't know. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of things all mixed and cooked in one that's causing, I guess, her to be comfortable with causing this pain to her own children. I don't understand it, but you know, nobody's considering the kids, though. Everybody want to come at me and ask me questions, but nobody considers what's going on with these girls. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, we're definitely, wow, powerful story. We want to thank you for coming out and just sharing with us tonight. We definitely need a part 2 and have to have you back, but we need to wrap up. How can people find you? How can other fathers just kind of get more wisdom from you? How can people come and find you to support the movement as you know, kind of shed the light on fathers just being more knowledgeable and, you know, getting the tools that they need to be able to navigate the system if they have a situation like this? Also, we want people to be able to follow you all, to kind of be able to get into your music. We didn't get into that tonight about the music. We'll have to have you on another so that we can actually write. We'll have to have another show where we actually can get into this music so people can actually, you know, be able to hear you. But just give them the information on how people can find you.
Yeah, so again, it's JGiddins. I try to make everything easily accessible. You can check the hashtag JGiddins. That's JGiddins. If you check #JGiddins, that'll pull up everything referencing me. There's also #JGiddins the Father. My Instagram is @JGiddins the Father. Once you go there, it'll link you to everything else. So just look me up @JGiddins the Father. If you know any father figures out there or any fathers in general, please have them go to my page. I like to share other people's stories. I like to talk about it, and it keeps me motivated and just going through these trying times. So thank y'all.
Any closing?
My name is Pinpoint again. I'm in a group called Gods. You can check that out at godsmusic.com. My Instagram is pinpoint_the DA_God, GAWD. So it's for going at whoever don't surrender. That's pretty much it. What's up, Rebel?
Rebel Realm, Mold Breakers Music Group. You can. I just want to promote the big stuff right now because I've been working with these 3 guys right here with the music heavy stuff. We've been putting a lot on the digital outlets because we're really trying to, you know, come up with it. And we doing this, like we living it now through all the, you know, all the everything that Jay doing. And it's also helping the music too. You know what I mean? But you can search us on all the digital outlets, Spotify and everything. Just search our names on there. He Pinpoint and Rebel World, JGiddins. We just is on everything.
Yep.
Well, thank you so much. We really appreciate you coming out tonight and sharing with us. We'll have to get you back. You have to do a book. You have to start a grassroots. Yes, definitely start a grassroots level or, you know, effort or something. So absolutely. So yes, we absolutely want you back. We hope you keep rocking. Get you on the Baltimore Flava Show, where we can talk more about music. Oh, I thought you were saying keep going. Okay. Thank you. Check us out each and every Thursday for Keep It 1,000 on the Worldwide Flava Network. Peace and blessings. I thought you was no. That says keep going. This is stop.
No,
and I'm